Neil, first round here is always difficult, especially when you get a really tough draw in Llang Wenbo, and 5-5 it was really looking in the balance, so you must be really pleased to pull away when 10-5.
Yeah, definitely. When the draw came out, there's so many debutants this year, and as a seed, it's always nice to draw one because they're not really used to the Crucible at all. So to draw Liang, who's had a couple of decent results here, and he's been top 16 player, and he's always hovering in and around the top 16, top 20 in the world. It's probably up there with the toughest draws. And the way I came out this morning, I played really well. Actually, I was 5-4 up, and missed a couple of tricky shots, and probably could have been 6-3, 7-2. But he hung in there well, and then he made an unbelievable break to go 5-all. And then I'm just thinking, I don't know, I just got to shake this guy off somehow. And funnily enough, it was when I missed a couple of balls, and then he started to miss a couple. So the crowd kind of created a lot of tension generally at the Crucible, but it seemed to kind of replicate that. When I missed a couple, he seemed to respond to it by getting nervy himself, and so in a way it probably helped me out a bit. I think that when I was playing so well this morning, I think that he just fed off it and was just playing without a care in the world. But when I missed a couple of balls tonight, he started missing a couple, and then I pinched a couple of really important frames at key moments, especially the one on the black to go 8-5 up.
There's been a lot of talk about the lack of crowd and how that might affect players' performance and the atmosphere, and some people expecting that it could throw up some surprise results, but in fact your win tonight means you're the 6th seed out of 6 matches to go through so far. So do you feel in some ways it might play into the hands of the top players?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the one that we'll never know, I guess, was Judd and Tom Ford, wasn't it? Because Tom started so well, and then he just kept missing sort of frame balls, and would he have done that without a crowd? I don't know. So I think generally speaking, the crowd can kind of get on top of people when they're under pressure, and we only got to experience that for the first day. So now it's just pretty much who kind of plays the better snooker wins. What I will say though is that the Crucible creates a different atmosphere than what we played in the Tour Championship, last month. You're still walking down the curtain, down those stairs. Rob's still introducing the players. All the seats are still there, the dividing wall. The other players playing on the other table. So everything's still there, just obviously not the crowd, but it's still the Crucible. I think John Higgins said earlier, it's still those lights coming down on you, and so it still feels great when you're out there. Just unfortunately not a crowd, but it's a lot easier to play than what I thought it was going to be. And I think the crowd noise and the applause when a player makes 100, I think is actually a really good bonus to have, because at least when you sort of make a century or you win a frame, at least there's kind of some kind of noise and acknowledgement, which has actually been a nice touch. It's worked out better than what I expected.
Given that you won this tournament 10 years ago, and how prolific a winner you've been of tournaments over that past decade, is it disappointing for you that you haven't been back to the final since?
Yeah, it's disappointing I've not been back to the final. I've said over the last couple of weeks in interviews that I don't believe any player has any right to kind of win it multiple times. But what is surprising is that I've won so many big tournaments since, and longer distance tournaments as well. I've not been back to the final since, and so it is quite surprising. It's something that I had to address. I spoke with Joe Perry about it, and he agreed straight away that he thinks it's a crazy stat that I'm not being back to the final. But sometimes I just get a little bit slack in certain sessions where I don't, you look at John Higgins, he comes out of sessions 4-all when he should lose them 6-2. I probably come out of sessions 4-all when I should be winning them 6-2. So I think that, just tightening up my safety a bit, making sure I'm playing the right shot all the time, which is something I did today. And I think that made a big difference today, actually. I think that, eventually sort of, Llang cracked under pressure, and I was able to sort of keep it tight.
I don't know, during the lockdown you were doing a lot of work on your fitness, on the exercise bike. Do you feel physically in the best shape you've ever been coming into this event?
Yeah, I felt amazing tonight, actually. I think sometimes in the 10 o'clock, 7 o'clock, I feel a bit sort of a little bit flat in the evening session. But yeah, I felt absolutely fantastic tonight. So yeah, that's obviously paying dividends, and I get to go back home now for 5-6 days, and yeah, I'll be spending a few days on that now, and just keeping that ticking over. And yeah, I think it's really important, and certainly something that I probably wish I'd probably done a few years ago. Even though I've been in and out of fitness, I think I really should have pushed on with that a few years ago.
Betfred, proud sponsor of the World Snooker Championship.